Wait, isn't everybody at war over atheism?
Atheism? No, we've learned to get rid of all the isms in our time. Yes, long ago we realized isms are great for those who are rational, but in the hands of irrational people, isms always lead to violence.
Hello everybody, this is episode 38 of the still named Tim's 2 Cents podcast. I actually finally had a family member ask what it was called. I guess they somehow a Facebook share or something or other. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Maybe they follow me on Twitter, which would be bad. But they were like, "Oh yeah, you do that podcast. It has that name, doesn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to tell you." And then they're like, "Isn't it? It's like Tim's." It was just a kind of a very awkward conversation to have at Thanksgiving. It wasn't that terrible, actually. That cousin isn't too bad. I don't know, this whole Thanksgiving wasn't too bad. I don't go to the, well, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Tim Baker, as always, with this show. I actually am going to do a shorter one this week just because, well, I'm tired and lazy, and I keep on saying I'm going to do a shorter one. I do the exact same amount of time. But haven't gone to the Baker's side of the family for like a holiday get-together for many years. After my dad's parents died, we used to go over my dad has an identical twin. We used to go over his house with his kids, and everybody always hated it. It was not a fun experience for anybody involved. And so we ended up not doing that anymore, which was fine by me. I'm sure my aunt, they're not bad people, but they're just not the kind of people that I care to spend more than about 15 minutes saying hi and then, oh, okay, bye. As soon as it goes over those 15 minutes, it starts to become insufferable very quickly. But no, I went over my mom's side of the family. There's like 60 people because my grandparents, my mom's side, had 8 children. And then all those people had at least 2 kids, and then all those kids have now had children because everybody else on my mother's side of the family is decently well adjusted and is making families at the, well, not everybody. I'm not the only person without a family at this point, but it seems like it sometimes when I go and, like I said, there's like 50 people in the house, and then like 20 of them are my cousin's my cousin's children, and I don't know any of their names. I don't even always remember all of my cousins' names. I'll have like 2, if there's like 2 brothers or 2 sisters, I'll be like, wait, which one is it? I forget. And then they're carrying a baby with them, and I'm just like, I've just gotten to the point now where I just go, who is that? Like, I'm not like, oh, wait, I remember her name. She's blah, blah. Like, I literally, it's my cousin. I went up to her. Actually, the sister of the person that outed me for my stupid podcast name, she was holding a baby, and I was standing there, and she was attempting to talk to me, which is a bad thing for anybody who tries to do that. And there was a child, and it was making noise, and so me not knowing where else to take the conversation just went, well, who is that? And I mean, I think they kind of just expect it by now. I don't know if that's something to be proud of. Maybe there's some kind of pity there. I also just think that they just kind of get that I'm not like, my biggest focus in my life is not keeping track of my family, all the children that my family decide to spawn. But no, they're nice. I don't know if I've complained about on this podcast. I definitely, to like people around me, I like to complain about my family because then people are like, but they're your family. Don't you care about them? And it's like, yeah, that's why it's funny. But yeah, hope you guys had a Thanksgiving, or, well, I mean, I guess I do hope you had a Thanksgiving. I hope it went well. I hope you didn't completely ruin your dinner time meal with having to talk about politics, even though, I mean, most of the other stuff that could have been talked about is just as bad. My dad somehow got into an argument about arts with my cousin, who is probably the only person more sensitive than my dad whenever it comes to arguments. As far as like, they kind of argue how I do, where it's not well, no, they argue like I do, where I kind of just take everything to an extreme, but then I also know that it's kind of stupid. They get really behind anything they do. So whenever, I guess it had to be broken up or something by, not like broken up physically, but I guess my cousin's wife was like, okay, we need to stop talking about this because it was getting people riled up or something. So that's where I'm coming from as far as my influences in my life. But hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you saw your families. You better be back at work now, though. You gotta go back to work. You gotta buy more things. You gotta buy stuff for Christmas. Did you get all your Black Friday shopping? Did you do any Cyber Monday deals? I'm actually recording this on Cyber Monday. What are you doing? Well, you're not gonna be listening to this anywhere near Cyber Monday, but if you miss those deals, you should feel bad because, you need to buy more things and feel cool about yourself. The weekend, I didn't do too much. I've been writing a decent amount more now. But then also for the past couple weeks, I've been getting ready to go hunting. So I went out, took my rifle out, shot it, made sure that everything at least was somewhat accurate. I'm still can't hit what it's actually pointed at because every single time I go to pull the trigger, I think I anticipate the recoil, so I kind of like lean into it, push the gun down and to the right. So everything is consistent, but it's consistently missing where I'm aiming at. But that's workable too. But that's actually what I did today. As far as it being a short episode, that's probably most of the reason too, is because I got not really much sleep and then went and sat outside in the rain and was cold because in Pennsylvania it was 45 degrees today, but as soon as I got out into I was at a state game lands. As soon as I got out there, it started to rain, and then the wind started to blow, and then it just decided to drop in temperature as soon as I was kind of drenched. And it's not that easy to fire a gun whenever your fingers won't work. It's kind of hard to just carry one. But I don't know, that's basically all I did today. And that's, if I'm going to take like a short episode to figure something out from, I guess it would be doing stuff like this, doing like really shitty, because I didn't go, first time I went hunting was 2 years ago. I didn't even shoot the gun. I saw one buck, but it wasn't legal. I think it had just 2 spikes or something like that, so it was only a year old, so I couldn't shoot at it anyway. And then I saw 2 does running away while I was walking back to my car after another time, but I never even fired the rifle 2 years ago. I didn't fire the rifle today. So far, all of my hunting experience has been sitting, like, hunting for me has nothing to do with killing animals. PETA shouldn't be angry about it. It has nothing to do with food. It has nothing to do with anything. Hunting so far for me has just been like an exercise in just being miserable and telling yourself you're miserable and realizing that you really just wish you could be any place else but in the cold and the rain, sitting there with some hand, like I had a hand warmer today. I thought I was going to be good with that. I throw hand warmers in my gloves and then they don't even work. Nothing. I don't know if they're old. I didn't know those things went bad, but somehow they did. But hunting for me has just been. It's just kind of, it's not mental toughness, because it's not like I'm doing a marathon and I'm having to push myself, but there's something to kind of just suffering and kind of, even if you're not going hunting, like I guess I would say, as far as if you want to get, I do see a benefit to it. It would help if, now I didn't get any writing done today afterwards because I didn't sleep at all last night. So then while I was sitting there out in the cold, I drank like 6 cups of coffee and now I'm kind of just crashing. But I think it's good to do something that kind of makes you miserable, as long as it's not like, I'm not saying go out there and just have people hit you in the toe with a hammer or kick you in the, like, well, if they're going to pay you to do that and that's what you want to do, sure, go out and do that. But as long as it's something where you can, like I said, it's not mental toughness, but it's mental just patience, it's mental control over yourself so that you don't go, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to leave now. You're like, no, I drove out here, I have to stay out here for at least a decent amount of time. And it's, besides the kind of forcing yourself into doing something you don't want to do, I would like, it's also just good to just get outside and kind of just state game lands, especially in Pennsylvania. They're not nature. It's not the wilderness out there. There's not bears running around killing people, but it is still different from especially if you live in a city or the suburbs where it's just every single day is just buildings and cars. I mean, it's pretty quiet. It's a lot of just like hunting, or even just going out to a game land. Don't do this while there's hunting. If you do, I guess wear a hat, or wear an orange hat and a vest, and try not to make too much noise. Or if you're a protester, I guess you go out there and just scream at people. But regardless, it's something useful for breaking up whatever kind of monotony you have, where instead of, I need to reply to this email, I need to send this, I need to do this, I need to write this, I need to record this, it's, all right, well, I'm going to sit here, and whether it's, okay, I want to look at stuff, I want to take pictures, I want to shoot something, it's breaking that out. That it's a very singular goal, and you can completely focus on that. Like I was kind of hoping I could get some thinking done about what I'm writing, and then I got none of that done. I spent the entire time just going, it's cold, wait, was that a deer? No, it's cold, oh wait, was that a deer? So anything you can really do to kind of get yourself out of that, I think is good. You're probably just driving to like a state park or something like that, and then instead of just like walking a trail or like jogging like people do, maybe just go sit someplace, sit down and just watch stuff move around, watch animals, watch birds just fly around and do nothing, like literally nothing. I don't know how birds stay alive. They literally flop around, make a bunch of noise, and do nothing, but yet they somehow keep on going. So do something like that, and then also try to just do something that sucks. Something that makes you uncomfortable, just for the sake of doing that, and then being able to not do that. Because, I mean, for the very base point, like, oh, well, think of how good... If you go out, you do that, you're in the cold, something like that, or you go out, you go to the gym, maybe, or whatever it is, and then you come back, and you don't even have to reward yourself after something like that. At least not in what we would normally think of rewarding ourselves, like eating a box of donuts or doing something like that. You just go, again, whether it's going to the gym or you're outside in the cold for like 6 hours, you just go, I just want to go back home and sit on my couch in sweatpants after taking a hot shower. And then you do kind of appreciate the stuff more. And again, it's another thing where it breaks it up. Instead of you being like, oh, I have nothing else to do but sit here and enjoy my heating and my couch and my television and my sweatpants and my food that's readily available and whatever else it is that you like to enjoy, this kind of reminds you of why you do what you do, I guess. Like, whatever pleasures you have in your life, whatever amenities you've built up, this can kind of help remind you like why you do that, and not like why I like, because you buy like a nice car, I get that does fade away, but there still is like a status symbol. There isn't really that much of a status symbol in our society for just having heat and a couch, but there should be something, like you're at least accomplishing something, and it is comfortable. So I don't know, try to appreciate the stuff a little bit more. Then also, I don't know, advice, try to do something that you really don't want to do. I think I've said that before about just doing stand-up, just doing open mic, to kind of just, if you're anxious about something, this will help. Like, you will feel so anxious, and whether you do good or bad, you're going to feel better afterwards, because you're like, oh, I did it, and I didn't die, and I'm okay now. I don't know, besides that, I don't know, take a cold shower. I mean, if you're living where it's cold, Daniel complains. Daniel, I do a show with him on the at youmeanbtc.com. That's the website. You can follow Daniel at youmeanbtc on Twitter. I do a weekly live show with him and Zach Vole. You can follow Zach at Twitter. He's having some issues with Pierre Richard recently. But we do a live show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can always get the newest show or the live show if we're currently doing it at ymb.tc/live. And we have a chat thing there, so you can come in there, you can chat with us, you can get involved with the show. All of these shows that I do, all the ones that Zach does at the Coin Pod, are pre-recorded, so you can always get to us on Twitter or something like that, but you can't have like he's talking about this, I want to tell him he's stupid for it. You can't have that moment. You can do that on our show. You can follow me at BakersDozen93 on Twitter, and I don't know, besides that, Daniel, that's what I was saying. As far as my advice, Daniel is complaining about it being like 65 degrees or 70 degrees in Arizona, which this might still work for him because it's relative. But especially if you're in like a colder area or if you have to do whatever, like, I'm not even saying take a full shower, to a full cold shower. That's just kind of ridiculous. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Do like your normal shower, and then for like the last half hour, or not the last half, that'd be even worse. Last like half a minute, maybe build up from that, start like a half minute, then go to 40, 50, and then do it. So your minute, do like the warm shower and everything, get really nice and warm, and then just turn all the hot water off, turn the cold on, and just stand there and freeze for a little bit, because after like 6 seconds, it doesn't feel good, but you also don't feel like you're going to die. At first, you're going to feel like you're going to die, and you're just going to be like, oh God, it's so cold. But I mean, again, it doesn't build mental fortitude, but it's a good practice to get into if you can control yourself enough that you're not constantly just going with the most pleasurable thing you can, because we do not appreciate showers for how amazing it is to just have nearly like just the right temperature water just shot at you in high pressure, and you can kind of just sit there, and there's the fog, everything's just warm even whenever you don't have the water, the fog, and not fog, steam, I'm so stupid, steam is just all around you. It's very nice, but if you can occasionally ruin that experience by then just freezing yourself at the end of it, you might appreciate it more later. Besides that, I mean, that's, like I said, I'm going to do a shorter one this week. I'll talk to you guys again next week, and I don't know, we're looking at doing some new things. I'm looking at doing some new things, so be on the lookout. Hopefully me saying that kind of motivates me to do it too. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.